you're in the market for a new helmet, what are some guidelines you should take before you get your helmet? Well, there are so many guidelines and preferences for everybody, but these are just a few that I personally go by. First of all, never get a helmet without trying it on first. In the US, the common head shape is kind of like an oval shape. So most of these helmets will fit that category, but even though it says oval or some kind of oval, every manufacturer has his definition of shape, so it is best you try that particular helmet on first. And this is one thing I just realized. Usually when you try it on, the cheek pads are fresh, so they pin against your cheeks and they make the helmet feel snug, so you actually don't get a true shape of the helmet. The best thing to do is to take the cheek pads out, because if all fails, when you get this helmet after a year or two, the cheek pads are going to wear down, and that's when it becomes loose. And the helmet is supposed to sit on your head and fit your head shape. So if you buy it new, it doesn't actually sit on the top of your head till the cheek pads wear down. So it is a best practice to take the cheek pads out in the shop and put a helmet on and see if the shape fits perfectly or almost perfect to your head shape. And I found out about that when the helmet I'm wearing now is an RS1, a Bell RS1, and it was fine when I got it. I got a small size and I couldn't fit my head through. It was too tight, so I took it back and ordered a large. And when it came, because it was new, the cheek pads were new, it fit all right. But after 18 months, I'm realizing that it is too big for me. And besides, I can stick 2 fingers up here in front of my forehead. So what I did was I took the cheek pads out, and I have another Bell helmet, Bell Arrow. So I took both cheek pads out in both helmets, and I put the Arrow on, and it fit like a glove to my head. I have a more like a round type head shape. So that one fits perfect to my head shape. And for this RS1, I thought it was my size. I thought it fit well, so I could put my fingers in front of my forehead. And also when I took the cheek pads out, it sat on my head but not squarely. I still had a gap in the front even without a cheek pad. So that tells me this is more for a narrow shaped head or a more oval shaped head than a round head. So it is best practice to take the cheek pads out for a new helmet when you're trying it on, to see if it fits squarely on your head and you have contact on all corners of your head before you buy it. If you're on a budget, don't worry about graphics or looks. And always wear your earplugs. It is very good to wear your earplugs. It's not just very good, you should wear your earplugs when you ride. Because you might not see the effect right now, but after a few years down the road, you're going to notice it. Yes, there are loud helmets. Usually the race helmets are loud relative to other helmets for street riding. But what can make a helmet noisy are the vents. If you have too much airflow, it's going to create wind noise. But what the other factors are in relation to how I'm in the wrong gear. How the air is hitting your face or the helmet, the angle of attack of the air to your face, that is going to make a big difference, because comparing a cruiser to a sport bike, your sitting positions are different. So on a sport bike, you are leaned over a little bit, so the air attacks you at a different angle, and that could result in the air going through certain vents or certain cracks in the helmet, creating a lot of noise or creating less noise. Same as on a cruiser, you sit upright, so the air is hitting you differently. A helmet that is loud for someone could be very quiet for someone else. So I wouldn't use that as a major factor in deciding which helmet I want to get. And also changing your windscreen can help a little bit to divert the air over your head or somewhere else.